All right, so here we have today the whatever's left of this Deanston 18-year-old Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. This is a Heineken uh, product. Um, it is from the Deanston distillery. It is 46.3% alcohol by volume, or 92.6 proof. It is non-chill filtered, natural color, and is aged, as far as I know, 100% in first fill ex bourbon. Yeah, 100% in first fill ex bourbon. Um, and there's about this left. I feel like that's 1 dram, but we'll see. Um, yeah, this says built on the river Teeth, driven by water power, reestablished as Deanston Distillery. So yeah, this distillery was like originally a cotton mill that they turned into a distillery. Um, and the entire thing is self-sufficient. So like they have like hydroelectric on site, and I think they don't use any outside power. Um, and the other thing too is like it's like all old school techniques. Like there's no like computerization of anything. It's all like analog um, production, as it would have been, I suppose, traditional. So we'll see if maybe have two in here. Maybe it's two. Maybe it's 2 drams. Yeah, it's like one in some. There's probably like another ounce in there. That is like extra. So it's not quite dead. It is almost dead, but not quite dead. There's like 1 ounce left, I think. Um, but yeah, so 18 years, natural color. So this is uncolored. But at this color, this is an 18-year-old color. For first fill ex bourbon, not talking about um, refill. This is first fill ex bourbon. Um, so um, that tells you something about 12-year-olds that are deeper color than this, that are exclusively ex bourbon. um, this is first fill ex bourbon. So um, yeah, real stuff. But that is another, again, an extra, like, between a lot of the ones that we look at, an extra 8 or 6 years to arrive at this color naturally. Um, and it being 100% ex bourbon, we kind of like already on top ahead will just know that there's probably going to be a fruit character. There's probably going to be like a sweet honey vanilla kind of character. Um, there'll probably be some spiciness in there. Um, and the finish will be like spicy and oaky apple. Yeah. Apple or orchard fruit or lighter fruit notes is probably something you would expect. Um, I seem to think last time we had this, there was some amount of like a citrus note. Spiciness is present, and there's like a honey, maybe a honeysuckle. Don't remember there getting being much of like a floral character on this, and that's something that we haven't had a lot of, and that's just due to a lack of me buying Highland slash Speyside scotches. I feel that are not sherried. Is I don't have a lot of things that have like floral notes. Um, I don't remember there being a floral note on here, but could possibly have a floral note too, I suppose. So again, we're gonna score this out of 25, out of 100. 25 aroma, 25 palate, 25 finish, 10 texture, and 15 for experience. Already there's again those bright fruity orchard notes, and there's also a kind of a bready cereal maltiness. Pick up some noses you didn't before. You know, there's something to do with like knowing what to look for that definitely helps because it's like it's not necessarily maybe that you didn't get the notes before, but it's hard to verbalize the notes or be like, hey, I'm smelling this. So like sometimes just knowing, hey, I'm going into this. This is the profile. This is kind of what I'm expecting to find, and just seeing if you can kind of match things up. That'll help. But there's something to be said too about like um, if you abstain for a while, then you're going to be more sensitive too. So, um, like that's why like if you have a whiskey profile that you like never had before, those like particular nuances might jump out at you that like are part of things that you've just never experienced before because you're like, oh man, I'm not acclimated to this at all, right? I'm gonna go with like a fresh cut apple, pear, cereal grains, honey, something else there too. Maybe just a touch of cinnamon, some vanilla in there. That's a good set. That's a good set of characteristics. Quite vibrant on the nose. The individual notes are like not that nuanced. They're all quite strong and presenting sort of evenly, sort of in a balanced manner. Yeah, grains, uh, fresh cut apples, pears, cereal, vanilla, honey, like orange zest, and like a slight small spice character. All right. So we're gonna hit this on the palate. Um, Slancheva. Hmm. There is a citrusy character in that today that I don't remember, but it's a lot stronger than I remember, I guess. I feel like I've gotten citrus off this before, but I was actually surprised by some of the citrus in the mid palate, how presented it was. But still, those orchard fruits on the palate, that grain cereal malty note, um, and definitely a pretty strong uh, citrus character. What would I call it? Feels not quite orange fruit. So you could go like again, orange zest, orange peel, um, and on the finish, there's a little bit of that spiciness, a little bit of that sweetness, and there's like that citrus is like grapefruit on the finish. Um, Finish is like medium. Yeah, you gotta leave it. You gotta leave it for a little while. Sometimes you get like flavor right away, and that's good. But sometimes you don't get some flavors until you've held it in the mouth for a bit, and that's like one of the hardest parts if you're not used to doing that because it starts to get hot, right? Like that alcohol sitting will start to get a little hot. Um, but it's like you have like some flavors on the arrival, and then you have some flavors like on the palate, like after it like sits on the palate for a little while, and then you have like those flavors on the mid palate, like right when you go swallow. It's like arrival, um, and then you hold it on your tongue, you get some palate flavors, and then you go to swallow, and you get like that where it goes to the back of your tongue. You get some on the mid palate, and then you get into the finish. 3 4 seconds. It depends on how tolerable it is against this, like how saturated it is. So it's like, um, if I'm not getting anything, I try to hold it as long as possible to try to get something, if that makes any sense. But it's like eventually you'll hit a point where like, um, holding it in there becomes like trying. I don't know. I don't know how long that was, like 8 seconds or something like that. But 3 or 4 seconds is probably like fine too. It's like once you get most of what the flavor has to offer, you're kind of like good after that, I guess. But the longer like you leave the alcohol to sit in there, it starts to become a little agitating, especially if it's like higher proof, right? So it's like something to do somewhat with like what you can tolerate, I suppose. Like if it's cask strength alcohol, um, you might not be able to hold it for like 10 seconds. You might only get 3 or 4 seconds. Burn your taste buds off, yeah. Oh, there's a waxiness, like a melted candle wax. Huh, I've never gotten that note off this before. It's like a sweet honey and a candle wax note at the top, and that's a development since I drank some. Like I'm like really like anecdotally, I don't know. I really think that like it could just be happenstance, but it's like I feel like if I pour something and I nose it, I get a set of notes, and then after I have at least 1 or 2 sips, then the set of aroma notes like is altered I don't want to use the word drastically, but there's a clear development that happens after I drink some. And I'm curious if that's just because I tend to drink some around a certain amount of time, or if drinking some really does change the aromas in a um, clear way. That just seems to happen with so many things that, like, I feel like after I get some of that in my orifices, that it changes my perception of the nose. It's not, I wouldn't call it like cask strength type of thick. There's still a little bit of wateriness there. That being said, it's like, it's pretty good. It's above average. Um, Now, obviously, if you have something that's aged 18 years in Scotland, proof goes down, right? So um, the cask strength of an 18-year-old is going to be lower than the cask strength of, say, a 12-year-old. So that means to get this to 46.3 from cask strength on an 18-year-old, you're putting less water in um, compared to like a 12-year-old, for example. That being said, that those legs are not as clearly defined as you usually get off something that's like cask strength, at least in my personal anecdotal experience. Um, so it's fine. It's reasonable. It's not thin or lacking in any way, but initially it doesn't come across as thick. Um, yeah, wax, orange zest, some chopped pear, honey, vanilla, a little bit of spice. Oh, I just got like a peach. We're all the orchard fruits are in play, I think. Nose is excellent. I don't know if I would. I'm not gonna. Well, it might be excellent. Excellent is like the word that I've assigned to like my top category. It's at least great, but it might be excellent. There's some development. There's lots of notes. That like random hit of peach is like really exciting because it's clearly not a pear sort of thing. It's like wowzers. It's like wow. I wish it would give me one more thing. Then it would be really good. This is, I guess, our third sip on the palate. We'll try to pay attention a little bit to mouthfeel here, but still like need to focus on palate and stuff too. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think the mouthfeel will be like it's feeling like a 7. It's pretty nice. Like some spiciness, a little bit of oakiness on the finish. Still that like grapefruit character. Um, Sweet. The honey sweetness is kind of like undercurrent. Um, Maybe weird note, but actually, I think I may have given this note on this whiskey before, but there's something on the finish that is reminiscent of beer hops, like a herbal, grassy sort of thing. Yeah, like a lingering like beer hops. I don't know which ones. Um, we'll just say East Kent because that one that one I know off the top of my head, but it's not. It's not any particular hop. Um, and it's the hops as they would be presented in a beer, not like fresh hops or pellet hops or anything like that. It's like brewed hops. Is that the is that, is that the right brewed hops? Is that the note that we'll say brewed hops? Maybe. I still get a little bit of brewed hops at this time. Um, I guess finish is maybe long plus, not long plus, medium plus, medium plus long minus something around that ballpark. Okay, I want to do like one more sip and then we'll give some numbers. Feel like there is a good amount going on here, and I feel like I haven't spent enough time on the palette. I'm in the same place with this nose, though. The chopped orchard fruits, um, chopped apple, chopped pear. Um, I got that peach come at me at one time, maybe like a slight peach note. Waxiness. Um, yeah, like candle wax, cereal grains, honey, slight bit of cinnamon, orange zest. I wish it would give me like one other thing that's like, hey, hello, this is another thing. Like, obviously, we could dance around some of these notes and give and say other things, but it would just be describing the same thing in a different way. I kind of want it to like clearly give me another thing. That would be really good. Try the palette again here, and we'll just try to focus on this palette. Um, yeah, it's like the arrival is malty. Some of those cereals, um, and in the mid palette, not the mid palette, like after the arrival into the palette, there's those chopped apples, chopped pears, um, orange peel, a little bit of a honey character, a little bit of like cinnamon spice, grapefruit, and the finish is like a little bit spicy, like cinnamon spice, baking spice, oak. That honey note is like through the middle of it. Grapefruit, slightly herbal hops, brewed hops character. Some oakiness if I haven't already said that. Like medium plus, something like that. tragic, you know. It's tragic that they don't have these the ambient liquor anymore. It's tragic. I think you can get a 12 year, but I don't think they have any more 18s. Maybe we should get a 12 year. Um, it's this one's not long for this world, obviously, but all right. So we're gonna try to score the aroma here, and so far it's been really damn good. Um, Although it's one of those things where it's like I've never given a score above 18, I think, or 19 on aroma, and I really want to give this like above 20. It's like clearly better than any of the noses I've rated so far. It just has like so many individual layers. Chopped apple, chopped pear, peach, uh, honey, orange zest, a little bit of spice, that malty cereal grains note, some waxiness. If it gave me like one other thing, it would be like truly, truly outrageous. Um, I want to give it 21. 21. We call that excellent around here. 21. Um, all right, so I'm going to focus on the palate and try to figure a score out of 25. Yeah, on the arrival, those cereal multi characters. And the palate has like that orange zest, orange peel, um, those chopped orchard fruits, cinnamon spice, grapefruit, um, that sweetness layer, that honey layer. Oh man, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. Um, but it's not insane. I'm gonna call it 20. We'll say it's 20. 20 out of 25. And then we'll focus on the finish, which I'm totally like I'm totally committed to brewed hops as a note on the finish. It is the most lingering part of it is this herbal brewed hop character. um, like you have a lingering IPA in the back. cinnamon spice, and honey sweetness layer, grapefruit, some oak tannin, maybe like cocoa in there, and that like brewed hops flavor. What lingers is like the baking spice, the brewed hops, and the grapefruit. That's what lingers. I'm gonna officially call it a length long minus. Um, I think it's just shy of being truly great though. It's pretty damn good. 20 pop. It's like there's this next level. Like in my brain, there's a next level you have to reach to get over 20. And the only place that this gets over 20 for me is on the nose. Like there's like a barrier to get over 20. You really got to display a real depth of complexity that's like this has got so much going on, but it just needs to give me just that little bit more. Just give me a little bit more of something. This score is still already like really good. Whoops. That's a tragedy. That is a tragedy. Unlucky. All right, so yeah, a true tragedy. I've I just lost slight control. What are you doing? What are you doing? You idiot. There's not much left. What are you doing? Uh, that was like half a sip I just lost. That was appropriate. That was appropriate. Although, should we take bets? Okay, so we're probably gonna go to the liquor store and Mom and I are gonna buy a bottle. Okay, we're gonna take bets on whether or not it's heavily peated. You think? You think do you think she wants a heavily peated one? Have we won the battle yet? All right, let's focus on texture. At a 10, I think it's like 7 right now, but let's really focus on the mouthfeel, the mouth coating character of it. Ooh, I really want to give that 8, actually. I really want to. It's like 7 or 8. She'll pretend like she won't. Maybe. The thing is though, is like, she likes a really particular kind. Like, she likes the protein peat. She doesn't like the, like, bitter, mineral, earthy, sludgy peat. She wants, like, the protein one. Like, the one that tastes like hickory campfire and barbecue. That's, like, what she wants. And there's not like actually a lot of options maybe for that up there. Like the only Lafroigs they have up there right now are the Quarter and the Oak Select. And we already have a Quarter. Should I give it 8? I want to give it 8. I want to give it 7.5, actually, is what I want to give it. Is that where we're at? Should I give it half? I've never given a half point before. I want to give it 7.5. But if we start doing that, then we like double the granularity of what we can do. If we start giving half points. I gotta decide if it's a 7 or an 8, I think. At least a 7. I'm not sure if it's an 8. So that's why I want to give it 7.5. I'll give it 8. Fuck it. Experience. All right, so we talk about here. This is lovely, actually. It's not wild though. It's not doing anything wild and crazy. It's just doing excellent things at what it's doing. But I'm not like, it's not blowing my mind. It's like, it's roughly what you expect. You expect to get some of this orchard fruit, citrus, honey, vanilla, oak spice thing. It's a first fill ex bourbon Scotch whiskey. It's not doing anything too wild. That being said, for being damn good, it's damn good. Give it 12. It's not quite insane, but it's pretty damn good. 12. Let's call this 21, 41, 61, 69, giggity, 79, 81, 81 out of 100, and in our score sheet, that barely meets the qualifications for excellent. This is excellent. It's an excellent whiskey. This is an excellent whiskey. God damn. Even if I gave it texture 7, it would still be an excellent whiskey. So we can't can't blame that for it. This is really good though. At 150 is probably a steal, honestly. 150 is a great price for this. It's probably like 175 or 180 now if it comes around. But this is pretty damn good.